About once a month or so, Wired woman Lindsay Smith is Studio 4 to keep us up to date on social media, online issues, and the hottest new toys in techland. She is the CEO and founder of Massive Media Inc., former co-host of Get Connected on TV and radio. It is my pleasure to welcome Lindsay Smith back to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Hello, Fanny.
Hi.
Got your geek hat on today? Are you all ready?
Oh, you know how geeky I am. I have my jewelry hat on.
We've been doing this for a while now. I feel like you are getting a little bit more geeky.
I am. I really am. And my friend has an iPhone and I'm lusting after it. And that's not like me. Because I've got, you know, the oldest phone in Canada, probably the oldest cell phone. Not the oldest, but...
Which one do you have?
It's not brand new. It's a Razor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there. I know. My kids laugh. Well, no, my kids get new cell phones and then they give the old ones to me. Isn't that how it works?
Well, you know what? That's good for the environment. You're recycling and reusing, and that's an important issue today.
But apparently there are going to be less iPhones, no data plan or data plan, whatever we say in Canada.
Yeah, there's rumors. There was a tech conference, the Routers Tech Conference going on in the US. I think it was in New York. And one of the analysts down there was saying that they predict that a cheaper version of the iPhone will be coming out within the next year or two. Because you look at it right now, and it's quite expensive. By the time you have your regular telephone charges and then you add your data plan onto that, at least $30, you're typically looking at around $70 upwards for a phone. With your iPhone, what's the point of having it if you can't use all of the cool internet applications? And
I know,
you know,
the timed games, you can go to the restaurant, you can use that one that you shake to find the restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, those things are just wonderful. And they're, and I have to admit, like, I've always been an avid BlackBerry fan, and that's just because it's so practical for email usage, but the iPhone is just so easy to use, and it's just so content rich, and it's I mean, this is the way the internet is going overall, is this integration of content into our lives where, you know, like you said, you pull it up and you can see restaurants within the area and it tells you exactly where to go, and it's on this beautiful big screen. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
No, and you have to cut your nails a bit shorter. It's not as easy to work.
That's true.
Did you notice?
We can't have the nice big nails. Well, I never pay attention to my nails because I've always got them in my little techie toys. And
well, that's the thing. But if you have longer nails, you have to use a BlackBerry. It's a little easier. Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I've tried using the BlackBerry with nails, and it's just it's not a fun scene.
Well, one of these designers is going to have to think about that.
They will. They will.
Of course. Apparently, has Vatican City wired.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
You look at these traditional institutions, religious institutions. I mean, the Pope, the most powerful religious personality in the world, and he is even advocating the use of the internet now. He's going out there and saying, do your research online before you talk about important issues, and before, I mean, be careful about it because security issues around it.
Right.
But when he's saying that, I mean, that says a lot about where we are in the world today.
When the Vatican has a website.
Yes.
And apparently you can send a virtual, now explain this to me, you can send a virtual postcard of Pope Benedict to your Facebook friends.
Yeah, so what you would do is you would go on the website and you would basically type in the email addresses of the people that you want to send postcards to, or the Facebook, and you would just send it off to them, and you could customize it, pick the cover that you want. I mean, the Pope is not the first person to do this. This technology has been out for many, many years, but it's a very neat way for a marketing tool through the internet that the Pope is now taking advantage of.
Sure.
And it allows people to get messages across. And so the Pope is now able to use, the industry calls it viral marketing.
Sure, do a little public relations. Not
Exactly.
because the Catholic Church, as you know, has suffered a few communication woes over the years. So
now it's like, hey, put your picture on there with the Pope, and you know, here, I mean, why not?
So, but the Vatican kind of owns that in a sense, but it's still free. But I know you're very cautious about what people put up on Facebook or websites, because they don't go away, those pictures.
Well, and a lot of sites, there's actually, again, down at this Routers conference in New York, there was a student who was presenting for one of the big universities and saying that you got to be careful when you post pictures online, because even though the sites are saying they're deleted or you can delete them, you can still actually find that photo online at a later date after it's been deleted. And the reason for that is what happens is, even though you can't click to it directly from the initial website, like for MySpace, every picture has a unique address of where it's stored, and typically those photos are stored on a different server than the actual website is stored on. So if you know the direct address of those photos, you can still link to them later. And the reason why they're staying on the secondary server, is this too techie, Fanny?
No,
okay.
I'm even
Okay.
understanding it.
Okay.
It's okay.
The reason why they're stored on the second server is a lot of data is usually stored on a second server, and they stay there until they're overwritten, because it's fast. It just makes more sense business-wise.
Sure.
It's a little bit cheaper to keep it and just have it automatically overwritten over time than have to manually go in or write a script to delete it right away.
Well, the point is, if you tell a fib to your boss and say you can't come into work because your dog died or something,
And
then
then
you
you're
post,
at the beach the next
post
day.
yourself at the beach, the boss can find.
It's true, and that's actually happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but in a recent court case down in the U.S. again, a gentleman had said that his social life had significantly suffered because of a car accident, and he was suing or trying to claim about $1.3 million. Well, he lost the case because the defending lawyer went on Facebook and found that his social life was not suffering at all, and they used that as evidence in the court case, and
Wow.
he only got $30,000, $1.3 million.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
And,
so
and
you
you can
need to
get
be careful.
unelected if you put the wrong pictures on.
You can, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different consequences of that. I mean, we've heard of people losing jobs as well because they, HR directors, government officials, lawyers, they're all using search engines and social networking sites to research people elaborately before they do any sort of business or have any sort of hiring process or anything with people. So it's become a fully integrated part of life.
So Google's still the king of search engines?
Yes, Google is still the king, but people are now talking about how search is going to change. When you think of search marketing, you think of, you just type in those keyword phrases and you get pages and pages and pages of results coming up based on those keyword phrases. Search in the future is going to be a much greater approach. We're going to mobile technology a lot more. So how does that search integrate with mobile applications with these new apps like the iPhone apps? How do you search within your iPhone? Well, you're not going to a search engine to find your favorite restaurant now. You're going to an application that brings up where all the 3-star or 4-star restaurants are within your area. So that's a different type of search technology.
Right.
And so all of the, like Yahoo is one of the that has announced that they are going to be acquiring companies that are taking the next step in search marketing in a more content-rich way.
Okay, because as you know, you have to be ahead of the pack.
You definitely do. 10 years ahead of the pack.
Exactly. Did I say packed? The pack, head of the pack. And Microsoft has that reputation, certainly. Bill Gates and Apple.
Yeah. Well,
Who else?
Yahoo is right in there with them. Facebook and I mean there's so many of them out there now, Fanny. And I think it's not so much who the big players are as kind of looking at who the smaller players are.
Right.
And there's so